Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Kenshi, Birth of a Hive, episode 16. So last episode, I offered you the opportunity to vote on rules, goals, and mod changes and some names. So here we go. Build an impressive throne room for the Queen is passed overwhelmingly. The Western Hive will still be traded as a potential hostile entity. We are not going to try to make peace with them. And I will try to set up a trade outpost. Barely passing, as you can see. We are going to be able to be unrestricted in our construction. Now, for the people that are currently watching this, feel free to keep voting if you haven't voted already on the polls, because if I see this flip-flop here, I might change my mind. Require one prince or princess in every squad that leaves the hive. Overwhelmingly passed. And again, barely passing is that the prince will be able to recruit and not specifically a designated one. Hive princes will only be able to recruit drones, not other princes or princesses. And when we enter the fog, we're going to have to wear personal protective equipment. Those are the updated rules and goals. Now for mods, as you can see here, blue is passing, so all of them passed, allowing me to add in everything. So that includes interior and exterior design, which will add some flavor to our buildings. Reactive world, crows gone fishing, allowing us to fish. Reactive world sort of makes the world react more towards faction changes, so base takeovers, the like. Execute enemy, allowing us to finish off unconscious people so that we can incinerate them. Cannibals expanded, making the cannibals have more lore, more armor, and are tougher. And Shrieking bandits expanded, again, more lore, more armor, and tougher. Now for the names. The faction will be named the Iron Hive here. As you can see, a 29% victory for the faction. And favorite squad names will be Swords of the Queen, and Hands of the Queen, and the Swarm, and possibly Keepers. So I'm going to draw from the favorite squad names. Again, if you haven't voted yet, feel free to cast your vote, because I will keep checking back on this pie chart to see if it updates. So, in summation, or summary, whatever. Rules. Queen can recruit any hivers. Princes can recruit workers and soldiers. No more than 10 hivers per combat squad. Prince required. Gear is hiver style only. No building outside of the hive. No intentional limb amputation. Fog Island requires personal protective equipment. And for goals, eliminate all the slavers. Destroy the other hives. Acquire a pair of each animals. I'm just going to expand upon this, that the vanilla animals I can use for combat. The non-vanilla animals I will not. Run a trade caravan and trade outpost. And impressive throne room for the queen. It's kind of a mouthful, but this society does require laws. So here we are, left off. We had just narrowly escaped certain death fighting some cannibals, and then, of course, running home, we had a whole bunch of iron spiders cut us off, and that was also a near tragic ending. A quick reminder here, we've got Iron Spider here, and a bunch there as well. So, let's go ahead and go into faction. We are now the Iron Hive, right? As you can see, we have a cannibal swarm coming in 21 hours. They're going to run into these Iron Spiders, so I'm not really going to sweat them that much. I'm sure some will make it to the mainland, but most of them are going to be squished pretty hard, I suspect. So, Swords of the Queen and Hands of the Queen and the Swarm and Keepers. Those are my new squad names. Alright, so as you can see here, I moved this hive building that I constructed last episode to place it somewhere a little bit nicer so that we could use it more easily, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do, the Queen is currently researching, is let's go ahead and, whoa, we are limping with Hella pretty hard. A lot of these guys need rest, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm setting up this hive building as a dormitory of sorts, so let's go interior bed. Now, I know that I can build buildings of any style, as that rule has been changed, but I do plan on restricting it a little bit, more for role-playing lore's sake. I don't want to just look like any other city, right? I'm still hivers. So I'll probably restrict it somewhat to swamp style, mimicking maybe a little bit the Southern Hive, but of course we are our own factions, so I don't want to just draw from other factions. So I'm just laying out beds wherever I can plop them down right now, and we'll get them constructed up. They require fabric and building materials, so our engineers will get them set up. Then what I'm going to do is do some more training. But the issue, of course, is that everything around me just got a lot tougher. I don't mind that, of course. I welcome the challenge, but that probably means that likely I'm going to have to train elsewhere. I'm not going to be able to train in the immediate vicinity, as it's truly just too difficult. I barely survived my last run-in. My next one would be likely fairly fatal. Alright, let's get as many people fully healed up as we can. So this dormitory is going to need some additional fabrics. For production, for crafting, I can make some fabrics. So let's make it out of... Let's set up a loom in here for cotton and hemp. These looms... Actually, apparently we can have outdoor looms. So let me undo that. My cotton and hemp storage is here, so we'll set the looms up outside. Hivers are notoriously somewhat impervious, or not impervious, but very resistant to weather. J is set to engineer and then put plates away or something, so he was constantly a little bugged there. So what I'm saying is, yeah, the hivers are somewhat resistant to the elements, or quite resistant, I should say, to the elements, which means that crafting outdoors should be no issue. Greenlanders, Scorchlanders, Shek, for instance, they all melt when exposed to acid rain, and us hivers, we do not. We don't worry about such things. So I did have some tips. First thing, a lot of people were wondering why I haven't switched backpacks, Red Rain, to Thorns. The chief reason here is Thorns, if he ditches his backpack, becomes slow again, down to 15 miles an hour. And that means not only would I have to then, carry Red Rain, I'd also have to carry Thorns, because Thorns all of a sudden becomes slower than everyone else. So it's better to have to carry just Red Rain than Red Rain and Thorns. But I will be shopping around for another backpack for Red Rain as well. I'm going to shop around for backpacks for all my animals. I just haven't found one yet. I've tried, but I just have not found one yet. Alright, so we're getting the fabric looms up, and that will allow us to construct additional beds. Green here has a whole bunch of... fabrics, and then these additional beds will allow me to recover from combat a lot more quickly, which is very, very important to staying alive long term. So doing a quick health check of all of the Hands of the Queen, I do believe most of them are fairly healed up. Frenchie, you can give up your bed to someone else, maybe Hella. Hella is very wounded, and then Beep will hop into the camp bed. Now, I do have camp beds that I could set up right now. That would allow me to heal up a little bit more, but I'd rather just... I'd honestly rather just construct proper bedding so that it's not a issue distant in the future, right? Alright, so at the moment, I guess let's upgrade this cotton farm to an XL. Had some cotton in it that I destroyed, but I don't really, it's not going to bother me much. We have a lot of cotton. In fact, our storage is at capacity, and our hemp storage is at capacity too. So we really need to start the production. Oop, this should be the Iron Hive. All right, now we have our proper names. So we've got the Iron Hive up near the Iron Trail, so that makes a whole lot of sense. So Meat Pants is our farmer, Pillar, Stone Miner, Oboro, stone building materials, or rather processor. Cookie is processor. Beep will be sent back to the hands of or swords of the Queen. Hella healing at the moment, but again, I think what we're gonna do is queue up a new battle group. So let me draw a princess into the battle group, and some fighters, and my dogs, and then possibly Ferris for the healing. No, Ferris is not... Ferris will be a good bow person, but that's a second prince. Maybe Green as well. Green is a good shooter, and Silver Shade. Alright. So Ferris, for the moment, well, we'll leave you in there. Alright, so that's our 10 right there. We have a lot of princes in one group. 3, a princess and 2 princes. But yeah, it will be our battle group. So once they heal up, I can send them out. Leaving Hands of the Queen. So Jay here. Oh, good. So we have our Cotton XL farm all set up. So all these guys can jobs turned off for all of them. Good, good. Hello's healing up. Who jumped in there? Ches? Oh yeah, you need the love. Alright, so Frenchie, in Hands of the Queen, is our field medic. So what I think I'm going to do is pull one person out of this lineup here. Maybe Green, and put Frenchie in instead. So that we actually have a good medic in the group. And then Green is a particularly good shooter, so it's nice to have him guarding the base. So we'll have him start to work on the hemp loom, and then Jay will work on cotton. And then this will allow us to construct the additional beds. Angel is grain siloing. I'm not sure why operating the grain silo is not becoming a permanent job. I'll just have to keep an eye on that. Meat Pants is the farmer, making sure that I don't have any farming tasks. No, I don't currently have any farming tasks that need tending to. I think what might be best is to construct a new farm, perhaps. So we do have the ability to make a small vegetable farm. So I'll set that up next to the cactus farm. Alright, he says he doesn't have any building materials. I'm not exactly sure who does at the moment. Someone does. I just have to figure out who that person or hiver is. Because we had building materials sitting around on someone. I'll need to find it. And then I'm also making sure that they put away their stuff. So the fabric, I guess, is going to be used pretty immediately engineering-wise. All right, let's see. The Queen is in a league of her own. She's just hanging out and researching. Let's try to find those green fruit. Or maybe I ditched them. Did I ditch them? I don't recall ditching them, though. Let's check this swarm. Alright, we have a lot of research material here that we ought to put away. And repair kits that really only Queen can benefit from, so we'll keep them home. The robotics can go to Thorns. Honestly, as can a lot of the food here, so that Thorns can eat. Because I have engineering tasks on just about everyone, a lot of these guys have building materials on them, and they probably shouldn't, because it encumbers me and slows me down. So I'm having them all put that stuff away. I did turn off the immediately put away everything toggle, because I found that to be sort of annoying as what will end up happening, especially when you manufacture medical supplies, is anytime any of your guys have medical supplies on them, they're going to stick it in the meds box, which is really, really, truly obnoxious, in my opinion, because what ends up happening is you never end up having meds on you, because you are constantly in a state of putting them away. I'm sure there's mods for that, but... Alright, so Hela is the only one we're really, truly waiting on to heal up. Oh, no, I guess Ron too, right? Ches, you are going to give your bed up to Ron. Ron, let's get you... Oh, Frenchie snaked it. Ron, let's get you in nice and rested. Soon we will have some fabrics. Oh, here's the green fruit. Let's see. Who was our super engineer? I remember we had one. It's one of the Hands of the Queen. Jay is a particularly good engineer. Okay, Jay, you are going to grab the green fruit. And you are going to construct the farm. So if my hemp looming people have engineering tasks, as soon as they make some hemp, they will immediately carry it over to the beds to construct the beds, which will be quite nice. So Jay will also be given engineering as a job, as a priority job. And then over the course of time, as we loom some more materials, we will be able to get that dormitory nice and stocked. I don't know what that is. It just says research. I guess I'll do it. So our engineering research will allow us to research large building shells and heavy building foundations. Let's see what else it is required to do, because I don't want to use it up if it's not necessary. Skeleton repair beds. Yeah, let's do that. Because our queen is part skeleton and she'll be able to repair at home, which is a fantastic boon. So now I've set the vegetable farm up to be managed by Meat Pants. I'm sort of curious at what point will he not be able to tend to the entire, all of these farms. He might be at his farming capacity, we'll see. I'm going to keep pushing it. But so far, he's been able to harvest everything before it spoils on the farms. And then Angel, why aren't you grinding up flour? It's weird, because grain silo is a permanent task here, but it's just not being triggered. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Oh, well, the water requirement for all these farms are about to fill up for free. That's great. We're still waiting on a few people to heal up their limbs. But I believe we're about to get some additional beds constructed, which should be fantastic. I'm gonna sort of instruct them to all work on the same. Pretty soon we're going to have a full box of building materials, which means we can repurpose some of the people that are mining and stone processing to other tasks, which will be good. Maybe make some hashish. Now, I don't want to exploit... I don't really want to exploit anything for the purpose of making a lot of money. So yeah, I could just make a lot of hashish, but I'd rather struggle and not be super, super wealthy immediately. So what was I doing? I was doing storage for flour. Alright, so we have another bed constructed, just about. And one of the swarm should jump in there if they're hurt. Thor is barely hurt. And Ches as well. So it's mostly just waiting on Ron and Hela. Understandably, given that their limbs were almost severed fully. Materials trader on the way. Alright, well, they might have a little bit of a hard time given the amount of iron spiders that are kind of camping the area. So we might actually end up having a dead materials trader. Taking a look, they're going to arrive right around the time the cannibal swarm's going to leave, so that might be interesting. And by interesting, I mean, you know, deadly for someone. Alright, Angel, what are you working on? She is hauling the wheat. That's fine. That's one way to build up athletics. Okay, so we have 3 beds now. And then, of course, we have the bed in the other room that can get broken down. Once Hela's out of it, and leave this to be sort of a storage/research room, which is totally fine. I'm going to 3 times speed it up so that we get our swarm here able to start venturing out. Another thing I could do is to consolidate the good weapons on the people that are going to be heading out, right? So let's have Meat Pants and Frenchie switch weapons. And anyone that has like a decent weapon, who had a really terrible weapon? One of the swarm. Ferris does? Yeah. Alright, so who has a good weapon here? Green has a good weapon-ish. So where's Ferris? That is a very good question. Ferris, where are you? Oh, you're right next to the stone mine. Alright, Green, let's trade with that. And that way, our combatants that are going to be sent out will actually have decent weapons. So let's take a quick look. Guardless Katana, that's fantastic. Silver Shade has no bolts. So I'll have to either buy some or something like that. We have some other weapons in here that I could utilize, but they're not fantastic. Okay, so I think at this point, all we're really missing is bolts. Queen doesn't want to give up her only stack, and Green has a little bit that he can give to Silver Shade, but not many. But given that Silver Shade is likely to be in more fights than Green, Silver Shade will take the lion's share. Alright, Ferris should be set up to be a bowman soonish, but I'm going to worry about that in a bit. Hela is fully healed up, as is Ron, Ches. They're all healed up. So let's get them all to rendezvous. I'm going to do a quick inventory check. Okay, quick inventory check. And then additionally, Who had the backpack full of meat? It wasn't Meat Pants. Surprising enough. Or Jay. Or Green. Maybe that bag of meat is gone. I really thought we still had a bunch of foul... Okay, it's Silvershade. Trade with Thorns. Silvershade. Who's the strongest in this group? Who are the most carry weight? Silvershade actually might end up being the one that carries... Yeah, Silvershade I think is going to be the one that carries Red Rain. So we're going to slightly encumber Frenchie here, our Doc. Silvershade, you're going to pick up Red Rain. At 22 miles an hour, that's fine. 21 might be our slowest. It is. Now, one more thing I do before I leave is... Thor, you are going to get a bunch of food. Alright, we filled up that backpack. Oh, you're at 18 now. Let's, not encumber you so much. Alright, you're at 21. Good, good. Do I have another backpack? No. If I give the backpack to... Oh, Beep has one. Alright. There we go. We will follow Thor. And we are going to swim our way out of here. Building up some swimming training is fine, as long as we're careful about where we're swimming. No. Ferris is a particularly bad swimmer. So actually, everyone is going to follow Ferris. And we will swim on out of here at 2 miles an hour. And we're going to have to go somewhere pretty far south for an appropriate challenge fighting Hungry Bandits and Dust Bandits. I don't want to risk anyone's lives on anything harder. Alright, so we have the ability to make really, really nice stone mines now, so let's get that constructed. This will probably limit the amount of workers while keeping the efficiency. That's generally how these things go. Alright, so this stone mine... I'm not exactly sure what it benefited, but yeah, we upgraded it anyway. Stone mine 4. Checking out my research here. Batteries would be really good. I have one more engineering research, so I'm going to pause a moment. Or slow it down. Fishing. Yes, let's get some fishing. Advanced cooking. Let's be able to make... Start be able to make clothing, hats, that kind of stuff. Crossbow crafting requires engineering research. I'm not sure if I want to invest that. Basic weaponsmithing. And... Let's take a look around. We can't do iron plates just yet. Oh, crafting boxes is free. Refinery upgrade, I'm not sure about yet. Composite runners. Sure. And then... I'm gonna keep this engineering research for now. I'm not exactly sure how I want to invest that. But leather, plate, simple clothing, heavy weapons, weapon grades. Alright, there we go. And then, of course, there's some Howler armor, which is from the expanded... one of the mods I have to make us look like a Shrieker, I suppose. Alright, Cookie, you are going to switch jobs. You'll help mine. That is yet another bed we've constructed. We're getting a proper dormitory. Angel. I'm going to destroy all of these jobs because I'm not exactly sure why she's just not using the grain silo. So let's just queue that up to have her grain silo it, because we have plenty of food now. And we'll just get through a lot of the backlog of wheat that we have. Because at some point, I could always add more wheat storage, but at some point we would honestly need to just get through that backlog. And, yeah. Alright, Queen. Checking on the swarm here. Whoa, we've made landfall. And just about ran into an iron spider. Alright, so we determined that Thor is the slowest. So here's the materials trader. And I am going to start running south. Now, I do have to run through something bad, right? I have to run through Shrieker territory or Cannibal territory, and they are stronger now because of the mods that I have enabled. So, I do believe we're faster than any of them, so as long as I'm careful about how I run, it should be fine. Famous last words, but it should be fine. Right, I have to just keep an eye out for the blinking. So this farmer trader here did actually just knock out one of these spiders. They're tough, these caravan drones. They are patching each other up. Two of the spiders didn't engage at all, though. So that's probably why they won so soundly. Now, it looks like Angel is actually properly using the grain silo now. So let's see about hauling to flour storage. There we go. Getting the flour out. The dormitory looks great. We really manufactured a whole lot of fabrics. And then we can turn those fabrics into clothing. Another thing I'm going to need to do is to torch post around the looms here, because they're in dark. Alright, I'm going to set hauling to iron plates and building materials as the highest for my engineers, so they don't keep building materials and iron on them. And then I also probably need fabric storage at some point. Let's check, making sure everyone has their... Oh, pillar shouldn't have that either. Alright, let's take a look. Thor, how are you faring? They're on the road. So we have a cannibal swarm coming. They're weak, but they're going to be plentiful. You know, actually, it might not be a good time to leave the base. It's not undefended. There's certainly people that are defending that, but if I've got a fight at my doorsteps, I might as well take the fight that's coming to me rather than looking for one and being involved in two fights. Okay, so our straw flour is going up, wheat going down. I think the person I'm supposed to trade with here is, like, injured or dead. Yes, the caravan boss is still unconscious. That's kind of funny. I won't be able to trade with them even if I wanted to until that caravan boss regains consciousness or something. The iron spider's sort of corpse camping him now, so not a lot I can do about that. Or maybe not a lot I even want to do about that. The item furnace allows us to melt down weapons. The arrow making bench would be nice. It does require a lot of the iron plates that we have. We have a very limited amount of iron plates. But I will make one of those because we don't really have the capacity to replace bolts right now. I have to basically buy all my bolts. So Jay will help to engineer that. Alright, caravan boss, how are you doing? I think when you regain consciousness, you're just gonna get killed. Oh, you're playing dead. Yeah, that's smart. Thor. how is the return trip? Alright, that's an active spider, so if I go here, I should be able to thread the needle. Nope, go into the water. And now, follow Frenchie instead. Nope. Everybody follow Frenchie. And Frenchie start to swim. It's a rainy coast, isn't it? Frenchie's already twice as fast swimming as he was before, so progress has been made on that front. Ooh, it stopped raining. So that caravan boss is just going to lay there, playing dead. I think what's going to end up happening is the cannibals are going to show up and abduct him. Not that that's any of my business. Alright, so our fabrics storage is filling up. We're going to need a fabrics chest, and I'm going to plop that right here. And that's going to require 80 building material. That I can have. No problem. Alright, so our swarm group is ready to go. Defend or whatever. One thing I could do, if I'm interested in the trade that I'm potentially missing out, is try to lure the spider away. Oh, Silvershade is hauling Red Rain. That might not be the best person to the luring, but whatever. So I'm sort of... Okay, the spider is fully moving now. Now what I'm going to do is potentially drag this spider. Angel, what are you doing? You're my cook. You're not going to kill anyone. Actually, let's set all the Hands of the Queen to passive at the moment. I don't want them running to come fight. Alright, Silvershade, put down Red Rain. And then let's go and lure the spider into the caravan. Because honestly, I'm saving their caravan boss, so they owe me one. And this will also feed me some iron plates that I desperately need. Because I do not have a renewable source of it. And those iron plates that I have can be processed into bolts. Alright, so is the caravan boss no longer playing dead? No, he's still playing dead. Interesting. I don't know why. And then also he should be getting up soon. Because he's just laying there, sort of waiting for... Oh, cool. I can make, like, ruined buildings, too? Interesting. I don't know why I would want to do that, but cool. He's sort of, at this point, waiting there for the cannibals to, like, abduct him. Which is truly a very dumb idea. Alright, so fishing rods. This is going to allow me to fish. I think. So, let's set one up. Get bait. Net fish. I'll put one of each. Fish fry. And fish drying stand. A bunch of building materials, but we have them in spades. Now, I don't want to exploit fishing too much for the amount of food that it produces, because it probably makes a lot more food than, than traditional methods would. Who are you? Lost Howler? Oh, you're just a lone patroller. Alright, Frenchie here is headed out to try to help... Oh, hello, Cannibal Swarm. Guess they're already sort of here. Screaming meat at me. Sure, alright, we'll fight you. Yeah, you're kind of running from me. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where the rest of them are. Oh, some of them are fighting iron spiders over there. He almost looks like a grand wizard or something. Very odd looking guy. And he's screaming that I'm meat, and then he runs away. I don't fully understand his tactics here. So, Frenchie, I'm gonna try to get... Oh. The caravan boss just got snatched. I was gonna try to help him out. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna be able to rescue the caravan boss in just a moment here. Why am I rescuing? Because although I don't like the politics of the Western Hive, as they exile a lot of their own, the individual members of the Western Hive are not so much the enemies. Right? Oh, caravan boss. That's not looking good, buddy. Well, I can't pick you up now that you're not playing dead. But there's no way I can physically come to help you. The other caravanners are coming to help. So, Frenchie, you stay out of this. Or rather, you will... Let's try to juke this spider. Or lure it away so the caravan can help their compatriots. The rest of you guys go back. This is just a task for the dock. Alright, so we're going to pick them up. And... Uh-oh. I am not fast enough to do this. Alright, thanks, materials trader. I know that you've arrived. Alright, Frenchie, you gotta put him down. And someone stronger's gotta... Oh, alright, Frenchie's unconscious. Everyone here is going to go passive. I hadn't really realized how weak he was. He was just really not able to do any rescuing. So I'm going to rescue my own first and foremost. With someone that's actually strong enough and fast enough to do it. Silver Shade will do the trick. And then I'll rescue their caravan. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that other people had fought spiders as well. Alright, so they're trying to encourage me to buy their stuff. That's fine. Let's put you in the bed. And Queen will tend to you. She's still a dock. And I'll do the same for Ferris and... Oops, for Ferris and Thor. I'm not ignoring you. Oh, okay, goodbye. Alright, so they just knocked out another spider. Which I should loot before he gets aggressive again. Before he regains consciousness. So, done. Getting the beautiful iron plates back up. Silver Shade is going to help Thor out. Yeah, this dormitory was a good investment, for sure. Alright, Queen, your first task should be medic. Oh, but you're only medicing your own squad. That makes sense. Alright, French, you can do the rest. Silver Shade should be back on engineering. We've already manufactured the fabrics box. And as you can see, we're getting a whole lot of fabrics out of that. Frenchie needs to go sleep. I'm going to do a quick health check. So, Chez here also needs some bedroom love. I guess I didn't notice this spider. This spider must have been the one that was camping the halfway mark. Oh, look, actually, they have yet another spider that that has regained consciousness. So this one is going to be up to me to down, as the caravan has left, and I am happy to take that upon myself. So, Queen and Silver Shade will start opening fire, maybe with Green as well. Green, do you still have bolts? Yes, you do. Alright, we'll try to kill this ranged. Oh, it's kind of just standing there. Oh, not anymore. Oh, there we go. We knocked it out. I was kind of lucky, if I'm being honest. Alright. Loot it up. Frenchie, just rest. Alright, we have now a decent amount of iron plates that we can turn into bolts. And a whole lot of spare fabric we could turn into clothing. I'm just checking in. Yes, we have a bunch of dead iron spiders. So there's still 2 over here. I think the raid that was coming to us is pretty much annihilated by the iron spiders. Arrow making bench. Alright, so we want toothpicks, right? Let's repeat that queue. And then green, let's have you stop let's have you stop using the hemp for fabrics and start making toothpicks. Now this is crossbow tech, so what I need to do is designate someone sometime in the future to be our designated crossbow smith, but for now I just need the bolts, so I don't really care who does it. The bolts are what's important. Man, these guys got their limbs really chopped up. I'm lucky. I did not pay due diligence or attention to them, and it nearly cost them. Which is something I honestly should avoid for the future. Alright, thorns, when you're that encumbered, you're still able to move pretty good. Cool. I'd like to sell this copper. It's too bad the materials trader just, like, bolted before I was able to do any trading, because it's really useful when they come to town. So the tech we're working on is just various clothing and whatnots. So if I go into the crafting here, as you can see, there's a clothing bench. Now clothing doesn't really give you much. It's mostly cosmetic type stuff, and I don't even really have any blueprints for hivers, so what I'm going to do is not... I like the technology, but I'm not going to bother with the benches just yet because of a few different reasons. One, I want to set up a building that allows me to have more floor space, and 2, to pick up hiver-specific technology. So Silver Shade is just depositing some dead iron spiders. So that they're separated. So I think a good trip for me would be to use the queen when she's done with some of the tech and send her down to the Western Hive to pick up some blueprints and do some trading. And hopefully pick up another backpack for Red Rain. So green, when you've made toothpicks, I guess I need toothpick storage, huh? Storage bolts. Where is they? Oh, storage bait. I also have a bunch of the fishing set up, and I don't have a fisher hiver yet. Let's set up storage bait and storage cooked fish. I don't really know how this all works yet, so we're going to have to figure that out. Storage dried fish. Storage raw fish. We'll just put all the storage around it. And my bolt box. This stores the crossbow bolts. I know everything is sort of spilled out everywhere. Now the thing is, I do plan on eventually moving to the main island once I'm strong enough, meaning this island, and then we'll have plenty of space, and I'll use the space to set up a really nice base. This is all temporary, all of it. Eventually this whole island is probably going to be a defense platform to keep invaders out. Alright, so Cookie, I'm going to repurpose you here. You're going to be fishing. So fishing requires blood grubs, so when you're not fishing, you're going to get bait. And then, actually, how does this work? Oh, so we can either fish for it or use the net for it. Alright, let's try fishing for it first. I'm curious about that process. So we get blood grubs, and blood grubs turn into raw fish. And then raw fish, I think we can either cook, we can fry up, or dry. This drying rack doesn't seem to be usable to me, though. It seems cosmetic in nature and not functional. So Cookie, when you have something to fry up, fry it. And then when you have cooked fish, I guess bring it to cook fish? Is that how this works? Cooked fish. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so that's the process. It gives us fish. So soon Pillar and Oboro might be on a similar sort of task. Looks like a lot of the swarm here are getting nice and healed up. Ferris, I'm going to kick you out to Hands of the Queen. And then the Queen is actually going to join the Swarm, or the Swarm, rather, is going to join Swords of the Queen. Because the Queen is about to go on an excursion. And it's going to be for blueprints and the like. Whoa. Didn't mean to drag that. So we're at 10 now. And everyone is all set. Queen will carry Red Rain. She's nice and strong. Strong enough to do it. And I'm going to turn jobs off. So the slowest in this group is probably going to be Thor. Oh, no, it's Thorns. Okay, let's all follow Thorns. Thorns, you take us towards the Western Hive. And we'll do some swimming here as well. Thorns is a very, very quick swimmer. Animals tend to be faster at swimming than bipeds. Bipeds being creatures with the 2 legs. Alright, and now the swords and also fangs of the Queen are going to make their way to the Western Hive to potentially sell off... Oh, you can see all the cannibals that are, like, bleeding out and unconscious. To sell off a bunch of the materials that we have. So now, I have to check these Lost Howlers. Wow, that dude is super strong. Look at his stats. His attack is enormous. His weapon is huge. Glad he's not fighting me. Yeah, these mods really lost, or had, yeah. The mods that I just installed really introduced some really tough enemies in my neighborhood. I'm going to have to be real careful. Because one of those lost dudes could probably, I wouldn't say wipe my village, but do a whole lot of damage. So investing in a weaponsmith and an armorsmith would be a very good idea. Plus, these Lost Babblers, before when I saw, like, singletons, I would assume tech hunters, but now it's not true. It could be these Lost Babblers as well, which changes the dynamic. So this group here, oops, I shouldn't have brought that stuff, but whatever. This group here has a really small amount of food. I guess Beep has some food. Yeah, no, we're okay with food. So we're going to head down to some of the Hive villages to do some trade. That is my current goal here. Ferris, you... I guess... Who doesn't have work? Out of resource, so I'm out of iron. No, I'm not out of resources. What are you talking about, dude? J. Yeah, so we have 2 mining. We're about to fill up on building materials. It looks like Jay here, either there's no more room for cotton, or there's no more cotton. Yeah, there's no more cotton. So when Jay has no more cotton, we'll just stone process. Taking a look at the food over here. Cookie does not seem to be hauling to food cooked fish willingly. That might have something to do with some of the AI I set up. So let's take a look. Ditch items will turn back on. And hopefully when they have stuff in their inventories, they ditch it appropriately. As we have this vegetable farm grow, I don't think I have a vegetable box yet. But we'll want to reinvest and make this farm larger. But no, I don't think it's grown yet. Alright, back to the queen. And her escort. So we are following Thorns. Thorns actually just got a little bit faster. Athletics went up. That's cool. And we will head to the Hive Village. We have to stay away from Obedience and Fog Islands because I don't have personal protective equipment, meaning gas masks for everyone. Only Silvershade does, and Beep. So Silvershade and Beep would be allowed into the Fog Islands, but the rest of them won't be, and I won't be splitting them up like that. Oh, so here's the first time I've seen howlers, or shriekers rather. So the average shrieker is pretty weak, but they do have a wise babbler who is tough, and some others that are more armored than... No, I guess they all have roughly the same armor. Some are a little bit more naked than the others. But their speed hasn't really changed, so as long as I can outrun them, it's not much of an issue. They haven't actually gone hostile with me yet. I think they're waiting for the response yell. But I'm not going to give it to them. I'm just going to run. So we are 4 miles an hour faster than they are. Now, another point that I'm going to have to probably mention a few more times than just this one time is that, yes, there is a unbelievable amount of ways to train skills. Strength and agility and lockpicking and all that. I don't plan on using any of them. Maybe lockpicking a little bit, but generally speaking, no, I'm not going to train up. And the reason being is you can, much like in DBZ, go into the training island. There is not a lot of threat or danger, and the benefit is huge, right? And that makes the game a little bit too easy. Because I could hypothetically train... Oh, Ferris is getting it. Why are you over there, Ferris? Why are you over there at all? Oh, because you were... Oh, you are a dummy. So he was... He's unconscious. So he was corpse hauling... But he was finding corpses that were, like, miles outside of the base. And, as a result, got himself encumbered and got himself knocked unconscious. So now I need to find which one of you guys has the most carry weight. I.e. the strongest, and it looks to be Jay. Jay, you are going to ditch your backpack. Ditch your sword. Ditch your armor. I'll come back for it. And go pick Ferris up and heal him. So what Ferris was doing was the job, which I tasked him to, which was to corpse haul, but decided to try to haul corpses dramatically outside of the base here, and ended up making this iron spider angry. Luckily, I noticed the flashing, and I was able to render aid. Now, every time I do that, every time I have a slip-up like that, I could lose a limb, or I could fully die. So, it's not something I need to make... Yeah, it's not a habit I should make. Alright, Jay is now equipped once again. I need to figure out... I don't really have a dedicated healer in this group. Angel's gonna do it, because Angel's a princess. We're just gonna first aid Ferris. Ferris, you're going to need to not wander into the iron spiders. That would be super cool if you did not. Our Angel is done making straw flour, so let's go ahead and do bread ovens. And then haul to the bread basket. So haul to bread basket be the top priority, and the bread oven next. And she's probably going to stand around a lot because she's just waiting for stuff to cook. And that's totally normal. Alright, so now that Ferris isn't getting hacked to bits by big old iron spiders, let's go focus on our friends down in the Shrieking Forest, because they are going to require our attention now that these Shriekers are tougher. They went from being naked to being armored, and to having no leader to having a wise leader. So they're definitely stronger. And then the Lost Babblers are like ridiculously strong. They're like Tech Hunter level strength. I don't know how good their gear is because I haven't analyzed it yet, but oh, look at you. You are a moaning samurai. Interesting. Alright, we definitely want to put some space between us and them before they realize that I am not one of the Psycho Babblers. The ramp I wanted to use is full of Shriekers as well. We'll just have to go the long way and hope there's pathing for us. The real danger here is me being backed into a dead end or something like that and not having a way to continue forward. Being surrounded by Shriekers and dying. So that would be a lot of fun, right? Let's not have that happen. Here's a little group. So not all the groups have the Wise Babblers, but I didn't actually look at the Moaning Samurai, or whatever they're called, to see if what their stats were like. But there we are. We've gotten through most of the danger. So now we're in Dreg, which means the region is a lot safer than the Shrieking Forest. As you can see, it's a lot more empty and not full of things that want to eat me. And there we are, the Hive Village. Now, the reason I sent the Queen, this Hive won't trade with anyone else. They are absolutely not going to trade with anyone but the Queen, so the Queen has to go. But I'm also interested, I guess Puhat has some goats. I probably don't want any goats. I will eventually buy goats, but at the moment, the purpose here was not to purchase goats. Alright, so here's the prosthetics trader, and then the regular trader is over here. I'm also going to need Thorns close by, too, because Thorns is the one that has most of the stuff that needs selling. You called me human. Okay. I suppose they probably would never... Most of these hivers probably haven't seen other queens. You'd think they could deduce what a queen should look like, but... whatever. Alright, so I've purchased them out of money, which means I can now buy some of their stuff. So a leather high vest blueprint would be good. Hiver chain shirt, sure. Plated drifter leather pants. Oh, can't afford it. Cool. I say cool because that means I can sell some stuff. They have Hiver notebooks here, which is weird because I don't really know how to use them yet. Bolt toothpicks. Alright, so let's get this pants and pole arms, and that just about bankrupts us. Which means the rest of this will buy the plates. And now we have no money. Basically no money at all. That does give us some blueprints to work off of, though. Which should prove to be pretty useful. In fact, actually, we could sell the repair kit. Where did you go? Where's the trader? I do like how they all have different armor and stuff. The Hiver expanded mod is pretty cool like that. Yeah, so this repair kit gives me a little bit of additional dough to throw around. Not sure what I would want to buy as a result. I could buy the Hiver notebooks, because I don't know if there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do that, but I'm not exactly sure how to use them yet, as I mentioned. But I'll purchase it anyway. And let's get Silvershade a little closer to be able to sell those electrical components, because soon I'll be able to manufacture them as well. And taking a look around, yeah, there's nothing else I want to sell. So let's go sell those. And purchase as many, I guess all of the regular books. Cool. Well, we got what we wanted to do here done. The next thing I could do is to skirt around Mongrel as best as I can and get some combat experience on these guys. I think that would be pretty important to level them up. Really, any opportunity I have. So, the slowest mover is probably Thor or Ches. Yes, it is Thor. So we will follow Thor. And again, we have to avoid the fog islands because I don't have the protective equipment to go through there. But on the other hand, I am just about... Yeah, they're telling me to get lost because I'm hiveless. I'm just about out of time, guys. So thank you all for voting. And again, I want to reiterate, if you haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote, because if any of the decisions get flipped due to additional votes, I can either call for a new vote, for a recount, or to change some of the rules or goals around. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, drop me a line. Thanks to all the patrons for supporting this channel. If there are any patrons that want characters named after you, let me know. And then I'll catch you all next time. Adios all.